You hail from Winnipeg?
Yes.
Cool.
Yes!
I'm not going to ask you about the Winnipeg Winters because I know you've heard that a million times, but where's home right now?
Home is LA. Winnipeg and then Toronto. I feel home in both, but now LA.
Well, we love having you here on the West Coast. Let's talk about Legends of Tomorrow.
Sure.
Gary Green, I mean, when you look at the character, where he's gone, it is amazing. Like, it's bizarre.
It's very bizarre. Yes, he was a human. We thought, so did I, and then I was told he was an alien, and that was a surprise.
So when did you get that news? In what form did it come? Like, how do these things work? It's like you get an email or you're in a call? Like, how did it all go down?
It was, so near the end of season 5, I had heard from a couple of writers that had said, look, Adam, we're working on something, we think Gary might be an alien. And I was
like, are you serious?
Yeah, I was just like, what? Okay. And then I just kind of started thinking about what had happened in the previous seasons that could justify that.
Okay.
Because I was like, okay, well now, okay, so Gary's an alien. Okay, so what has Gary done? What? And one thing that I like particularly attached myself to was Gary didn't think he was a virgin because he didn't really understand what virginity was. So I was like, okay, that's something that an alien wouldn't really recognize what virginity is, the losing it or having it. And then I just kind of started thinking about other, potential things that could justify alienhood.
I guess it's not the most bizarre thing that's come out of the show, so you're probably like, okay, I'll go
close.
Yeah, but your character originally wasn't meant to be as recurring, correct? Like, did you have to fight for the character at all, or was there something after a few episodes where there was a conscious decision to develop Gary Moore?
Well, yeah, I think...
Or were you not really privy to that?
I wasn't privy to that. I knew Gary would be there for 3 episodes. And then I think, there was an amalgamation of positive influences, which was one, Jess is amazing, and they were, this blossoming love affair between Ava and Sarah, and Gary was kind of connected to Ava, and so that was helpful for Gary's survival. And then I think, I was, I guess, relatively easy to work with and a fun guy, and they didn't want to fire me.
I'm a fun guy. Yeah.
Keep me, I'm a fun guy.
Totally.
I'm a fun hang.
Now, you've said before, though, that you're surprised at the level of support that the fans give you, because, I mean, here's this show and this universe full of eclectic characters, people with, like, superhuman abilities, all kinds of crazy creatures. I mean, even though you are an alien, but you play it pretty straight in the show. So, why are you surprised that people have formed such a connection with you? Or do you think it's the humanity that you bring to it, which is ironic because you're an alien now?
Yeah, I mean, I don't know that I'm necessarily surprised, but I guess everyone has felt like an outsider at some point. And I think Gary is like, on that show, like the ultimate outsider. And, despite feeling like he may not fit in, put on a happy face, be a good person, be a friendly guy, and, they'll keep you around.
Yeah, no, totally, and expand on that, because Gary is at times like the butt of the joke, or like, there's a laugh at his expense. So
totally.
It's kind of a fine line, because you don't want to be this character that's totally like ridiculed all the time, but then it's also like can be empowering as well, because you are providing a sense of comic relief, but then it also shows this breadth of characters and how dynamic the cast and characters are.
Totally. Yeah, I mean, look, are people laughing at his expense at times? Yeah, maybe, but at least they're laughing, and that's a positive. So I guess it's kind of like when you think things might be bad, laughter is a positive thing.
Yeah, it's the best medicine.
Exactly.
But I mean, do you think there's a lot in Gary that people can relate to that watch the show, and I think that's part of a beautiful connection that various characters and actors in their roles have with these shows, right?
Totally. Yes. Yeah, like I said before, I mean, we've all been the person sitting at the lunch table by ourselves, right, guys? And I certainly was, and That's okay.
Yeah, totally. Embrace it.
Yeah.
Okay, let's give the fans a chance to ask you some questions. So you can line up in a nice orderly fashion at one of the mics there. We've got 2 set up in the aisles.
Try to stump me, guys.
Yeah.
Can you do it?
And we'll just ask that you keep the masks on and 1 question each. And because the masks are on, you want to just get a little closer to the mic and make sure you project as well. But yeah, maybe before we get to the questions, we're in the middle of season 7.
Yes.
So we
2 episodes left.
obviously can't give spoilers, but what can you sort of give us a tantalizing tease, if you will? That's about all he can give us.
I actually, I won't spoil some, but I was watching a few episodes ago with my girlfriend, and I had mentioned that something happened, and I was like, wait, but that doesn't make sense because of this. And I'm not going to say what the plot point is, and she's like, what are you talking about? I was like, no, but that character is this thing happened to that character. She's like, no, it didn't. I'm like, what are you talking about? No, it totally. And then I looked back at the scripts. I was like, oh no, that was the final episode of the season. Whoops.
Oh!
We just kind of it all sort of blends together.
Yeah.
I completely didn't realize that it hadn't already aired on TV because it's all just like mumbled in my brain.
And then you made her sign an NDA, right? To make
Yes.
sure that she didn't say...
And then I killed her.
All right, question time. We'll start on this side. Go ahead for Adam.
And I was wondering, how does it feel that now you're more in the spotlight for the Fallen season?
Sorry, can you please
Be
repeat
more in the
that?
spotlight now.
Oh, how does it feel? It feels so good.
It's about time.
These spotlights right now, it's like I feel like I'm sitting in the sun getting vitamin D. It feels fantastic.
The literal and figurative spotlight,
Yeah,
right?
exactly.
Thank you so much. Let's go
Thank
here.
you.
For Adam, go ahead.
Daddy? Daddy? Oh my God, is that my son? Daddy? Where have you been all my life? That was beautiful.
Nicely done.
Hi, Daddy.
Okay, that's a first at Fan Expo.
Yeah, my son walks around with an axe.
Yeah, totally. It's a good look.
It is really good look. And my son is leaving.
Let's go over here. Go ahead for Adam.
Hi.
Hi.
When you were revealed when you were reading the scripts revealing that you were an alien, what were the first reaction you had? Or what was? I'm sure this has been covered in other interviews, but...
Well, I guess first I was like, what is the alien going to look like? Is it going to be like an E.T., like adorable alien that you would like to pet and be friends with? Or would it be like an alien from the movie Alien, which is scary and drooly and it's closer to the alien version
Somewhere
of
in the
Alien.
middle.
Yeah, somewhere in the middle.
Little predator in there too.
Yes,
Yeah.
yes, very predatory.
Yeah. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
On this side, go ahead.
Hello.
Hi.
Hi, so my question is, you know Gus Gus, the pink dude from like last season?
Totally.
And then there's Bebo. Of course we know Bebo.
Yes.
Who is cuter? Be careful.
I mean, the politically correct answer is Bebo,
Correct?
but Gus Gus actually a little bit.
No.
No, Bebo, of course Bebo.
These are great. Okay, go ahead. Over here for Adam.
Hi.
Hi.
Really loving the show. And
Thank
especially the past 2 years, you guys have really pulled something together during the pandemic. And I really want to know what's been the hardest part of shooting during COVID rules and restrictions.
Well, look, thankfully we had an amazing COVID team on set that we all had to test 3 times a week. Everybody had to mask. The actors were lucky enough that we could take off our masks when we were shooting. Like me and Thor, we're in the spotlight. We have to show our pearly whites and therefore
That's right.
take off our masks. So it was surprisingly not as difficult as I had expected it to be, but that's thanks to the crew that were responsible for tracking and making sure, because whenever there were COVID cases that came up, and they did come up on set, you know, it was the people that had tested positive were quickly sent home to isolate, and it never spread. So, you know, ultimately we were lucky, but thankfully we were able to make to work and make more episodes for all of us to enjoy.
It's really worked out. Thank you very much.
Thanks.
You know, and I think that's a good testament to the whole crew, you know, all the facets of what goes into a production, and
Oh, yeah.
safety and health is so paramount to all of that, right?
Totally.
We're competing with the other panel
There's some
here.
crazy stuff happening down there. Should we go over there, guys? Yeah, totally. I mean, there were times.
You know, what you see on the screen, sorry to interrupt,
No,
there's
no.
so much that goes into it that people may never appreciate or even know about.
Totally. I can think of one of our steady camera operators, a beautiful guy named Grizz, is carrying a really heavy camera, and he's got to like move around and hold the camera, and it's very heavy, and he's following us, and he's wearing like a very tight N95 mask, and I would see him in between takes, and he would be like doubled over, and his mask is like going in and out from him breathing, and I just felt terrible for him. It was like, I wanted him to be like, go outside and breathe, please, you're gonna pass out. So I think like there was a lot of sacrifice from the crew members, and I'm very grateful that, you know, we were able to do it.
That's awesome. Okay, let's take one over here. Go ahead.
Hello and welcome to Vancouver.
Thank you.
Legends of Tomorrow is my favorite show. Which is very unexpected to me. And I honestly don't think
Why?
that it would all, because I thought that I wouldn't like it. I thought that, okay, this concept makes no sense. Why is it like time traveling superheroes when you have all this other DC property to
Totally.
adapt? And then I watched it and I just got hooked.
Yes.
And then it feels like I slapped myself in the face. And then honestly, I don't think it would be like that surprising if it turned out that you had a son who was an axe murderer. So like,
It's true, it is kind of on brand.
it is on brand. So my question is, which historical era would you like the crew to visit? Because right now it's like the crew does go to the same like European locations all the time, and maybe like the Wild West like every season. So like somewhere new, where would it be?
Yeah.
Want to get a bigger budget?
Yeah, exactly. I mean, I always love going to Europe, so I can't say that that's bad. But you know, I guess one cool place would be to go like way into the future, but that's budget related. Like, what does Vancouver in 2450 look like?
That'd be cool to check out.
That'd be really cool to
Yeah.
check out. The answer is I don't know, but it would be interesting to see. I'm always intrigued by the like Europe in the 30s and 40s, but that's been done. So
You know what? I would love to see an episode that like has you guys go back to the Black Plague.
yeah,
Oh, there you go.
yes,
All right, thank you.
we have to bring our sweet N95s to the
Back to
people
the
of Europe.
original COVID, old school, yeah.
Yeah.
Go ahead on this side.
Hi, Adam.
Hi.
You asked me to think of a good question, so I have a good question for you. So yeah, it's kind of a serious question. So we all know like Gary kind of had his.
Sorry,
Can you just speak a little closer to the mic?
Sure. Sorry.
Yes.
So we all know that like Gary kind of had a thing with Constantine.
That's right.
Back in the day. So like I was wondering how you would characterize Gary's like, I don't know, like sexuality. Like, do you think he is on the queer spectrum, or like do you not really have an opinion on that?
I have an opinion. I always have an opinion. I think I would classify him as pansexual. Gary just wants love wherever love exists on that spectrum. So I think you know, he's always searching for it. Gary's like a puppy, just wants love from everyone and anyone. I think that's how I would classify it. Gary is a dog.
That's a great
an alien
image, though.
dog.
Yeah, a lovable puppy who just wants to be loved.
Awesome. Thank you.
Of
Thanks
course.
so much. All right, yes, go ahead on this side.
Hi.
Hi, my name is Adrian,
Hi, Adrian.
and I'm a big fan of the show. And when you first appeared, the character works for the Time Bureau. And then you leave the Time Bureau and you become a magician. And you were an assistant, you were John's assistant. And now we find out you're an alien. And my question is, can aliens do magic?
Ooh, very good question. I think aliens can do magic, but I don't think Gary the alien can do magic. So I think he needs, Gary was trained by John, as was Astra. Clearly, Astra picked up a lot more of the training than Gary did. So I think if we could somehow reanimate or bring Constantine back, and he really trained Gary hard, maybe, but probably not. Gary's a bit of a fuck up a little bit. So yeah, aliens can do magic, but Gary can't. That's my final answer.
Great question. I love that.
Yeah, great
what's the deal?
question.
Your glasses.
Thank you, Adrian.
Your glasses hide your true form. Is that the deal?
That's the deal.
Yeah.
Yeah. My glasses, which are literally my glasses, are the things that turn me into what I look like. It's alien tech, Thor.
That's all
It's
you
alien
need.
tech. Come on, man.
That's all you gotta ask. Yeah. Okay, over here. Go ahead for Adam.
All right, so can you take the glasses off now just to prove?
I can. I
Yeah,
signed
all
a
right.
non-disclosure. I'm sorry.
I'm keeping my eyes out. And like, simple question, but what is your favorite backstage memory?
Ooh, my favorite backstage memory. My favorite backstage memory. What was it? I can't remember. Maybe we should get Katie and bring her over here. Let me think about it. I'm like blanking completely. Ooh, it's such a good question. Oh, okay. I have a backstage memory. We're at a comic book convention right now, and I got to go to the only time I've been to the San Diego Comic-Con, but I was not officially invited, so I kind of crashed the Legends comic book convention, and I got to wear the Bebo outfit. And they brought the whole cast on stage. They introduced everyone, and then they introduced Bebo, and I came on stage as Bebo and answered a couple questions as Bebo, and then took off the head and revealed that it was me. So
Oh, cool.
it was fun. That was really fun backstage, but not exactly what you're asking, but a little bit what you're asking.
Still a really pretty cool story. Thank you.
Yeah, of course. Thank you.
Okay, on this side, go ahead for Adam.
Okay, it's a little bit of a silly question, but I have a feeling you're good with silly questions.
Yes, I hope.
So now that we know that Gary's an alien,
Yes.
I can't help but wonder what the significance of his third nipple is.
Great question. Great question. Excellent question. Well, his third nipple, as you know, has been anointed to him by a fairy godmother. So the significance of it is interesting. Like, does the third nipple translate to his alien form? Is that kind of what you're thinking?
Yeah, or it's a bug in the software. It just of the glasses. It just gives you a third.
Oh, interesting.
Or if it's supposed to represent something else, like when your alien part gets. I don't know.
Well, I think we might find out, hopefully next season. I've been wondering in general whether the alien has either killed the real Gary, or did alien Gary just see someone that looks like Gary? He's like, I like that guy. I'm gonna look like that guy. Or is Gary, in some jail cell on the alien planet, on the Necrian planet? I don't know, but maybe we'll find out. I want to know, guys. Don't we want to know? Why does Gary look like this? I mean, I get it. It's a handsome person to look like, so I don't blame Gary for choosing this body.
It's a great look.
Yeah, thank you.
There's plenty of room for development there, I think.
There really
you gotta
is,
pitch
yes.
that. Yeah. Okay, go ahead over here.
A follow-up on the Bibu issue.
Sure.
Everyone, I think, has been wondering when will the Bibu toys come out?
It's a great question. I'm gonna have to have a conversation with the Warner Brothers, Max, John, and Isaac, We'll see what they say. But if not, I recommend you should just start making them and selling them and see if they come after you, because I don't think they will. A lot of money to be made.
And I have one more for you.
For sure.
Oh yes, this gentleman is quite the artiste.
Oh, wow.
He's been gracing our panel members with his creations all day.
Oh, amazing.
Yeah, hold it up for the camera there if you can, Adam. Look at that, cool. Thank you again, that's great. Yeah, he's been hard at work.
I wish I looked this cool. This is...
I know, right?
This is amazing.
It's like when you get walking down Santa Monica or something.
Yeah, exactly. I love it. Thank you, thank you.
Nice job. Okay, go ahead for Adam over here on this side.
Hi, Adam. It's Veronica.
Hi, Veronica.
I just wanted to ask, when you envision Gary walking into a room, what kind of theme music or song do you hear in your head?
I love all these what if or how do you imagine questions.
Pharrell Williams, Happy.
Yeah.
That's the first thing that came to mind. I feel like that works, right? Right, guys? Yeah?
Totally.
Do you have an idea, Veronica, of one?
Happy sounds pretty good.
All right.
Right on the nose.
Happy it is.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Because he's a fun guy.
He's a fun guy.
Yeah.
Gary is a fun guy, guys.
Yeah.
Okay, another silly question.
Oh, he's back.
Which of the legends do you think Gary would find the most tasty? And do you have any recipes or, like a barbecue or, how would you like to prepare them? And do you think Gary might come out with a recipe book at some point with, some of his Cuisinart arts?
That's a great question. Well, I think in the lore of Legends, we already know, and I think it's Ava. He already ate an Ava clone, and he couldn't believe how good she tasted. So it would be Ava. And in terms of a recipe book, no, that would be a little too. That'd be a little evil, kind of maybe it'd be fun if he did it as a joke, as a little bit of a not a threat, but just be nice. Or I have a little beef bourguignon recipe for you.
Okay, let's go over here again.
Hello.
Hello.
Oh, she's echoing. All right, sir.
Oh yeah, she echoes.
Let's get real for a second. We all know Gary's a zany guy.
Of course.
He's not the most normal, not zany guy in the world. And as myself, I am also kind of someone who's not zany. I'm a double negative, but...
You're a double negative kind of guy. I get it. I don't not get it.
I'm a triple, things are not going great for me. But if you were to say what Gary would be like just on a regular day of not shooting, what would you say?
Oh, yeah, sure. I think Gary would be, just binging Sex and the City with a Cosmopolitan. That'd be Gary on an off day. Just going hard, 7, 8 seasons straight, bam. Sex and the City, OG Sex and the City.
Don't I know it?
Not that new one. Awesome, thank you so much. And we'll keep it on this side as well.
We love it on this side.
Yeah, totally.
This is the right side. I've really enjoyed the season, Gary and Gideon. And that seems to be unexpected. I'm just wondering, what is it like actually to work with the live Gideon with Amy Louise Pemberton? Because you've just been working with her as the voice, and now this season she's in the flesh. So, how do you like the Gary Gideon relationship, and what is it like working with Amy Louise in person?
Amazing. She's fantastic. She's so hilarious, super talented, just a great person. We had been friends because we worked together in previous seasons. She did a couple episodes in the past, but oh yeah, fantastic. I love Amy. And in fact, we had a great scene that was cut out of the episode, a makeout scene. Didn't make it, guys. So hopefully in the deleted scenes, but it was, she's amazing, really amazing. I'm so happy that they brought her on in person because I think she brings a ton to the show. And they really gave her a ton to do. I mean, she was probably one of the busiest actors this season, and she knocked it out of the park. So very happy to have her on the show.
Hopefully we'll see more of Gary and Gideon.
Gideon and Gary having adventures, solving problems, and saving the world!
Yeah! All right, good question there, thank you. On this side, go ahead.
Hi.
Hi.
I forgot my question. Hold on. Yeah, there you go. How fun was that scene of Gary and Ava trying on wedding dresses?
Oh, yes. It was amazing. Well, first of all, I've never been fitted and had a wedding dress built for my body. So that all automatically was very exciting. You know, Jess directed that episode, so she really was open to us doing whatever and was kind of trying to be very flexible and we just went crazy and had a blast, and it turned out great. So I love that scene. I loved working with her as a director. She's amazing. Amazing.
Thank you so much. If you have any questions for Adam, you can come up to the mics there. We've got time for a few more. I want to talk to you about before you got into acting, because it seemed like we may have never seen your comedic stylings on the small screen. You were kind of destined for like getting into finance before?
Yeah.
You made a bit of a switch, right?
I made a bit of a switch.
So talk to us about that process and how that all happened.
Yeah, I went to undergraduate school for finance. I had a finance degree. I had a job offer to do investment banking and work for Lehman Brothers, the company that then failed during the financial crisis.
Right.
Probably because they wanted to hire people like me. But anyway, I ultimately couldn't do it. I had fallen in love with acting in college, university, and decided to give it a whirl, thinking that it was going to be easy, and it's not.
And how did you start? What kind of gigs were you doing in the very beginning? Like, how did you kind of? Because we've heard that's a theme we've heard a lot today. Is just that hard work, that intense, those years of like climbing the wall, the ladder, so to speak.
I mean, in the beginning, it was actually the first role I played on in the States was on Young and the Restless. I don't know any YNR fans in here, but a role that was actually kind of a little bit similar to Gary, which is weird because then after that, I almost exclusively played like bad guys and terrorists on TV shows. All kinds of guys with strong accents and dangerous faces, you know, and lots of facial hair. And
like the typecast kind of like terrorists.
Yes.
Like on 24 or something.
Yes, yeah, I did. I actually played the Russian president's aide on 24. I certainly did. I spoke in Russian in that, and the president actually didn't know Russian. I was like teaching him how to speak Russian in the episode.
That's hilarious.
It was really fun, but yeah, it was great. Look, typecast is viewed negatively, but I don't view it that way because it has the word cast in it, which is...
Yeah, no, and I didn't mean to, not in a derogatory sense, because you are getting work, right?
Exactly,
and that's how it starts, yeah. And what were you into in college and university? What were the kind of acting productions that you were, like, were you in Greece or something?
One which was kind of this company called Mask and Wig, which was like had been on campus for like over 100 years, and they were like this sketch comedy, like really like highly sought after, and I didn't get in. And a friend of mine said, you should audition for my theater company that I'm part of, and I was like, okay. So I auditioned. They brought everyone into a room that was interested in the show, and they said, okay, look, here's the situation. We like all of you guys, but the show we're doing, hold on, let me come back to this. The theater group was on campus, and it was a Jewish theater group that did not perform or rehearse on the Sabbath, on Friday night. So if someone was religious and wanted to do theater, it was almost impossible because every show would perform on Friday night. So this theater group was created for people who couldn't do that. So anyway, back to the original part of the story. They brought everyone into a room and they said, look, here's the issue. The play we're doing this year is called Neil Simon's Fools, and the lead two characters need to kiss. Who's willing to kiss a member of the opposite sex? And I was like, I'll do it. They're great, you're the lead. And from then on, that was it.
Wow,
and
that was easy.
That was easy, and then I fell hard for the craft. I mean, it's pretty amazing. You could be, for me, if I'm feeling like crap, if I have a headache, if I'm sick, if I'm whatever, and it's like ready to act, time to act, everything goes away. It's like the body just heals itself, which is pretty incredible.
Interesting. Well, that's when you know you're doing the right thing.
I think so, yeah.
Okay. Let's take another question over here.
Hello.
Hi.
Just wondering, what's your favorite moment as Gary out of the various seasons you've been in?
The nipple being bitten off by the unicorn. Yeah, some fans of nipple torture. I'm curious if anyone here has not seen the show and is listening to this. What is on that show?
I'm fascinated from a writing perspective, like how the nipple thing even started.
It is wild, yeah.
But I love that about the show. It's just like, throw it at the wall and see what sticks. Like, the wackier the better.
The wackier the better, yeah. Yeah, wacky seems to play on this show. There are no rules. I think that's probably why we all love it, right, guys?
Okay, let's go over here. You have a follow-up?
Yes, that actually ties into my question very well.
Nice.
And my question is, what is the writer's favorite type of drug to do when they're writing the episodes?
That's a great question.
Yeah, they must be they're an interesting bunch.
I need to ask them. I'm gonna guess caffeine. Really, that's gonna be my guess, and
That's a
maybe
safe
like
one.
to a level of caffeine that you then start to see things.
Okay, yes.
Right? Yeah, like that amount.
They're not just like pulling like random words out of like a one of those
Maybe it's that.
lottery
A lot.
lotteries, yeah. Nipple!
All right, guys. How do we work nipple in? How do we work nipple in? Nipple.
Yeah.
Next one, unicorn. Nipple, unicorn. Nipple, unicorn. Shit. How do we do that?
All right, go ahead.
I was just wondering, why do you think evil Gideon did not make a replica of you as a legend?
Oh, like that Gary was in alien form? Is that what you mean?
That, or just an enhanced form of Gary, like, Nick got those guns.
Oh, that's true.
Sarah got her assassin skills back with no guilt. So
Yes.
what would you have been a fool? Like, how would you have been
Well, I mean, I think
what would
Gary.
your power have been if evil Gideon had recreated you?
In human form?
Either.
Oh, that's interesting.
I mean,
Because alien Gary is already quite powerful. He can grab people, throw them up, eat them. So maybe evil Gideon is like, look, this is pretty perfect the way alien Gary is. He can eat people with reckless abandon.
so Gideon just can't make
Maybe.
aliens.
Sorry?
Maybe Gideon can't make aliens.
Oh.
And thus,
Yeah, maybe she can't. Yeah, she can't upgrade aliens. She just has to have them the way they are.
Anyway.
Yeah.
I love these questions. I mean, like, you can tell people are watching the show.
People are watching the show. Thank you, guys. Thank you for watching the show.
Lovely fan base.
Thank you, Charles, for watching the show.
Yeah, go ahead over here.
Hi, was just wondering if there was a particular VFX or special effects sequence that you found really challenging or memorable.
Ooh, good question. Actually, related to it wasn't challenging for me, but for the production, the scene where we talked about where Alien Gary eats Ava, right before that, he takes several clones and grabs them with the tentacles and throws them up in the air and is holding them. And the stunt team is incredible on the show. They had these harnesses and they were flinging them up in the trees and spinning, and it was incredible to watch in the moment. And I was very thankful that I wasn't a stunt person because I've got sciatica pain. I can't be dealing. That's not, not for a guy like me.
You're the talent. Come on. Awesome. That's a great question. Thank you.
Great questions.
I want to know from you, growing up, which superhero, comic book characters, or properties were you into? Who did Adam love to follow growing up, or any kind of particular movies that really stood out?
Yeah, I mean, I love the I love the original, I guess not the TV show Batman, but like the Michael Keaton, Jack Nicholson Batman.
Yeah, the Burton ones.
Yes.
The original, yeah.
I would say the Burton ones were probably the ones that the first one. Yeah, maybe the first two.
Yeah.
I love those, but that was kind of the beginning of like I guess they did like Superman movies before, but like sort of the new generation of.
I think it was 89 was the first, was that Batman.
Yeah.
Totally.
I remember seeing it in theaters.
Yeah.
It was beautiful, guys. You're all too young to remember. I loved it.
Okay, I've had the 5-minute wrap, so we've got time for one more question, so you get the final
Make it a good one.
segment.
No pressure though.
Yeah, no.
So I was just wondering if you could act with anybody, who would you choose to act with?
Good one.
Ooh. My friend Charles Zuckerman. No, I would say,
I want to further that. What genre would it be as well that you would act with them in?
Well,
So,
okay.
so like
I'm
lay
gonna
it all
go.
out for us.
I'm gonna go comedy, and I'll go local. Seth Rogen.
Nice.
Very nice. Thank you very much.
Good answer.
Play to the crowd, but also to myself. I love him too.
Look up celebrity. Yeah, no, I like that. That's good. Well, thank you so much for your time and your
Thank you,
stories.
Thor.
It's been a real pleasure.
A pleasure for me too.
We look forward to seeing more of Gary's wacky adventures.
Thank you. Thanks,
All right.
guys. Thanks for hanging out.
Let's give it up for Adam Seckman one more time.
Thank you.
Legends of Tomorrow.